Hello students, welcome to the class again. So students, today we are about to finish the story A Retrieved Reformation and while covering this last portion of this story. So without wasting time, let us begin. We are here at page number 18, the first paragraph. Can't you do something, Ralph? Try, won't you? As that girl, Annabelle's married sister, one of daughter, Agatha, who has been locked by May accidentally into a safe, and the all family members were very worried about her. Annabelle, who turned towards Jimmy, or you can say Spencer, and she asked to him, "Can't you do something, Ralph? Try, won't you?" When she has some expectations to Jimmy, that's why she asked to him that do something if you can. He looked at her with a queer, soft smile on his lips and in his keen eyes. Annabelle, he had give me Annabelle, he said, "Give me that rose you are wearing, will you?" She unpinned the bud and placed it in his hand. Jimmy stuffed it into his vest pocket, threw off his coat, and pulled up his shirt sleeves. With that act, Ralph D. Spencer passed away and Jimmy Valentine took his place. Now, what happened here? As he looked at her with a queer, Ralph looked at Annabelle strangely, and then he smiled. While smiling, Jimmy asked Annabelle for the rose that is pinned to her dress. Confused, Annabelle unpins the rose and hands it to Jimmy. He puts it in his pocket, takes off his coat, and rolls his sleeves up, and with that act, Ralph D. Spencer passed away, and Jimmy Valentine, actually the burglar, took his place. He orders everyone away from the safe and begins to remove the tools from his suitcase. Now, here Jimmy has changed absolutely. As for all the family members, he was Spencer, but now where he came into his real existence, what he was actually a burglar, and he was ready for that. "Get away from the door, all of you," he commanded shortly. He commanded to everyone that as he was going to do something, he orders everybody away from the safe, and he begins his work. He set his suitcase on the table and opened it out flat. From that time on, he seemed to be unconscious of the presence of anyone else. He laid out the shining queer implements swiftly and orderly, whistling softly to himself as he always did when at work. In deep silence and immovable, the other watched him as if under a spell. Now, what happened here? As Jimmy begins to work, freeing Agatha from the safe, he seems to be unaware of those around him. He methodically removes the strange tools from his bag and whistles as he works. It means he was enjoying his work. Jimmy is silent and appears not moving at all because he is absolutely indulged in his work, while the other members are watching him. How? Spellbounded. In a minute, Jimmy's pet drill was biting smoothly into the steel door. In 10 minutes, breaking his own burglary's record, he threw back the bolts and opened the door. Agatha, almost collapsed but safe, was gathered into her mother's arm. Jimmy opens the safe within 10 minutes, flat breaking his current record. Agatha, thankfully, she was safe on the other side of the safe. Okay, and she collapsed on the floor. Okay, and is picked up by her mother. Jimmy Valentine put on his coat and walked towards the front door. As he went, he thought he heard a faraway voice that he once knew call Ralph, but he never hesitated. At the door, a big man stood somewhat in his way. "Hello, Ben," said Jimmy, still with his strange smile. "Got around at last, have you? Well, let's go. I don't know that it makes much differences now." "Guess you are mistaken, Mr. Spencer," he said. "Don't believe I recognize you." Ben Price turned and strolled down the street. Now, what happened here? As Jimmy was very aware that he had been got in a trap, okay, and he was thinking that there must be someone who recognized him. So Jimmy puts on his coat, begins to walk towards the other side of the oak railing. As he walks, what he hears an unmistakable voice taking his name, Ralph. He turns around without hesitating. He did not hesitate at all. And he turned around. He saw Ben Price. Ben Price stands blocking the front door. Okay? He was blocking the front door of the bank. Jimmy greets Price warmly with a smile. Jimmy did not hesitate at all and he greets Ben with a smile. Ben begins to behave in a peculiar way, in a very strange way, and pretends not to recognize Jimmy. When Jimmy smiled at Ben and introduced himself, then Ben was how he was behaving. He was behaving in a very peculiar way, and he was pretending that he did not recognize Jimmy. Before turning and walking out of the bank, Ben Price says to Spencer, what he says to Spencer, he says that, "Perhaps you are mistaken, sir. I don't know who are you." Here, at last, what Ben wanted actually, Ben Price observed all incident which occurred there in the bank and he decided. What he decided? Here Ben wanted to give Jimmy Valentine a chance to reform himself. That's why he pretended that he did not recognize Jimmy. And he wanted to give him a chance for a good path as he realized that Jimmy turned into a new leaf. So student, this is your last video of this chapter, a retrieved reformation. Listen it twice so that you can understand the video very carefully and the chapter will be clear to you all. I hope you all will go through it. Till then, take care, have a nice day. We will meet in our next video.